Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was the first president to hold regular press conferences, keeping the nation informed one presser at a time. He was the original media-savvy president. Talking points? Wilson had them covered one presser at a time, and strangely enough, Wilson's favorite pastime was sitting in silence. He once yelled at a presidential aide for sneezing, fearing a heart attack from being overstimulated. He was like, "Oh, look, I need my peace and silence for my press conference." Warren G. Harding. One might say Warren G. Harding was one of the worst U.S. presidents in history because he just resembled every trait of a typical deadbeat father. He once lost the White House china, porcelain, in a poker game. Talk about going all in. Besides gambling, Harding's presidency was marked by heavy drinking and a fully stocked White House bar during, guess what, the Prohibition. He also had a long extramarital affair, including a child fathered out of wedlock with Nan Britton, a woman 30 years his junior. Calvin Coolidge, known for his quiet demeanor and unusual pets, also had an interesting quirk with his name. Although born John Calvin Coolidge, Jr., he chose to go by his middle name, Calvin, to distinguish himself from his father. His presidency was marked by such as taking afternoon naps while wearing a ridiculous amount of pajamas, or having his head massaged with Vaseline every morning while he ate breakfast in bed. For his pet choice, he had a raccoon named Rebecca. Herbert Hoover. Herbert Hoover spoke fluent Mandarin Chinese and could surprise you with his impressive language skills. He conversed in Mandarin to keep eavesdroppers at bay. He is the only president that could pull this skill off, while other presidents would opt for more familiar languages, such as Latin, French, Dutch. He and his wife, Lou Henry Hoover, were fluent in Mandarin. They learned the language while living in China, where Hoover worked as a mining engineer. They would even speak Mandarin to each other in the White House when they wanted to have private conversations, probably setting up a cozy date night with each other. Hoover also lent his name to a unique sport called Hoover Ball, a vigorous game involving a medicine ball tossed over a net, invented to keep him fit while in office. How do you impress others with your hidden talents? Or what unique sports have you tried? Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt was related to 12 other presidents. These connections included both direct and distant cousin relationships with notable figures such as Theodore Roosevelt, Ulysses S. Grant, and John Adams, among others. Additionally, FDR managed to hide his paralysis from polio from the public for much of his presidency, maintaining a strong image of leadership despite his personal challenges. He often used carefully staged appearances and specially designed podiums to support himself in public, ensuring his physical condition did not overshadow his presidential capabilities. FDR's mastery of public perception and his familial connections are profound legacies. Harry S. Truman. Harry S. Truman's middle name is simply S., honoring both of his grandfathers, Anderson Ship Truman and Solomon Young. A middle initial with no name, Truman kept it simple. When you can't choose between names, why not just go with a letter? Truman, known for his decisiveness, notably made the tough call to use atomic weapons during World War II, aiming to end the war swiftly. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Dwight D. Eisenhower installed a putting green on the White House lawn, perfectly blending business with pleasure. His love for the game was so well known that Augusta National Golf Club named a tree on the 17th hole the Eisenhower tree, because it frequently interfered with his shots. Eisenhower loved to cook, especially barbecue. He often grilled steaks at Camp David and had a special fondness for a dish he called Mamie's $1 Million Fudge, named after his wife, Mamie Eisenhower. If he lives in our time now, I really wish we could Gordon Ramsay grilling him over his fudge. John F. Kennedy. During World War II, after his PT boat was sunk by the Japanese, Kennedy carved a rescue message into a coconut shell, which helped save his crew. That coconut shell was later encased in wood and used as a paperweight on his desk in the Oval Office. Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson had a habit of holding meetings while he was on the toilet, taking multitasking to new heights. The ultimate throne room meetings. Johnson kept things moving, quite literally. Known for his larger-than-life personality, LBJ also signed into law crucial civil rights acts, profoundly shaping modern America. Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was not only an accomplished pianist and could play 5 musical instruments, but also had a memorable moment of intense perspiration. Nixon was the original one-man band. Nixon's hidden skills showed a softer side amidst his political turmoil. However, during a pivotal televised interview, Nixon sweating so profusely that he collapsed from dehydration, highlighting the intense pressures of his presidency. Ever discovered a hidden talent in someone where you least expected it? Or experienced a moment where nerves got the better of you? Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford worked as a fashion model during college, showcasing his diverse background. But did you know he wasn't born Gerald R. Ford? From the runway to the Oval Office, Ford had a resume that could strike a pose. He was actually born Leslie Lynch King Jr. and adopted the name Gerald Rudolph Ford Jr. after his mother remarried. Have you ever had a job that surprised your friends or undergone a major personal transformation? Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter reported seeing a UFO in 1969, making his presidency as interesting as his experiences. Carter was also known for keeping the White House thermostat low to save energy during the oil crisis. He famously donned a cardigan during a televised speech, encouraging Americans to conserve energy by turning down their thermostats and putting on a sweater instead. That's another cool way to embrace the Cold War, I guess. Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a lifeguard before his political career and saved 77 people from drowning. Reagan kept everyone afloat, even during economic and international waters. Reagan is also the only U.S. president to have been a professional actor before entering politics. He appeared in more than 50 films and was also the president of the Screen Actors Guild. One of his most famous roles was as the Gipper in the 1940 film Knute Rockne, All-American, which earned him the nickname the Gipper throughout his life. What's the bravest thing you've ever done? Share your deeds in the comment below and don't forget to subscribe. George H.W. Bush. George H.W. Bush celebrated his 90th birthday by skydiving, proving that age is just a number. Bush knew how to keep the adrenaline pumping even into his 90s. Taking the plunge at 90, Bush's birthday leap of faith was a testament to his adventurous spirit. Have you ever taken a risk that surprised even you? Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton isn't just known for his political acumen. He's also a Grammy winner for Best Spoken Word Album. From the Oval Office to the Grammy stage, Clinton had range. Speaking volumes, Clinton's award-winning words showed that he could captivate an audience not only through policy, but through his voice as well. However, his presidency was also marked by a notorious scandal involving Monica Lewinsky, which led to his impeachment proceedings. It's a stark reminder that even the most charismatic figures can have deep flaws. Have you ever been shocked by the complexity of someone you thought you knew well? George W. Bush. Before entering the political arena, George W. Bush once owned a baseball team, the Texas Rangers. Additionally, Bush famously dodged shoes thrown at him during a press conference in Iraq, an incident that highlighted the global controversy surrounding his administration. What's an interesting past life or unexpected incident involving someone you know? Barack Obama. Barack Obama has not only led the free world, but also won 2 Grammy Awards for Best Spoken Word Album. Presidential pipes. Obama had a way with words, proving his oratory skills extended beyond political speeches to captivating audiobook readings. Grammy-winning oratory. Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the only president to have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, reflecting his unique path from entertainment to the Oval Office. From reality TV to reality checks, Trump knew how to stay in the spotlight. Joe Biden. Joe Biden has brought 2 German Shepherds, Champ and Major, to the White House, with Major being the first shelter dog to roam the executive mansion. Do you have a pet with a unique story?